Hey, and welcome to another Skag Academy video lesson. We're now going to talk about the market's time versus you as we continue our execution tactics section of the course here. So, what we're basically talking about here is really just being available inside of the markets, right? You have to be available when that infinite opportunity knocks. Right? We just discussed how there's all sorts of opportunity that you can capture inside of the market, but if you're not available when those opportunities present themselves, it's really not going to help you at all. So you need to plan some sort of active trading time, or you have to at least be, at the very least, adaptable to alerts when necessary, right? Because we are teaching execution over analysis. So far, we've talked a lot about analysis, a lot about just kind of seeing the market in a certain way so you can then go in and execute based off what you see. But now we're going to kind of get into like the nitty gritty of actually executing, actually taking attempts, taking losses, taking wins, managing trades. And with that, being available is the number one thing. Being able to put time in is the number one thing. I can guarantee you I have over 10,000 hours of active trade time, chart time, and believe me when I tell you that is the going to be the number one teacher outside of just the knowledge in the course, right? The knowledge is great. The knowledge is going to kind of kickstart you, but nothing's going to teach you more than those 10,000 plus hours of just raw chart time, interacting with active trading, executing on ideas, losing, learning why, talking it over with myself and other students in the chat. That's really going to matter, right? But again, you can't execute if you're not there. So we're just going to talk about when's the best time to be there and kind of bringing this up. This is going to be a real quick lesson. These are some of the best execution times that I've seen for smart money concepts. This might not go for everything. These are pretty common times in the market, not going to lie to you guys, but they're important to know so you can, try to build a schedule around this. Overall, timing is tricky. If I'm going to be honest with you, timing is very tricky. What is a volatile time one day may be completely dead the next, right? I've seen this where I wake up early, for that 5 o'clock, 5:30 a.m. trading, and it's just dead. And then the day that I sleep in is the day that, that's when that's most active. But you're gonna have to learn to, adapt. If you have certain days that you're available at 5:30, cool, get up and do that. You may have to make some sacrifices, stuff like that. We'll talk about that in the next slide. But for right now, um, you know, these are going to be, in my opinion, based off current market conditions, some of the best times to be at the charts. Like if I'm available at the charts at these times, that's what I'm doing, right? I'm there. So let's go over this. Days, Tuesday through Thursday. We all know those are the most active trading days. It's slam right in the middle of the week, right? Mondays usually are a gear up day. Also, there's a lot of holidays on Mondays typically, so not really the best trading day. Doesn't mean Monday's a bad day, just means not one of the best days. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday typically can be your best days. Again, something you learn in like a basics class though. Specific times, again, these are subject to change. And I will also note that some of these are asset specific, right? So meaning like, let's just go through these, right? So 5:30 a.m. In my opinion, almost anything and everything CFD related is gearing up around 5:30 a.m. Right? This is after the London Open. The London Open, obviously, also another great volatile time. You can obviously find some opportunity within there, but I find that 5:30 a.m. As London's kind of already in gear, and New York kind of traders, early session traders for New York session are kind of getting up and hitting charts as well. Very active time of the day. I think that's also a great time to set up some of your trades that you plan on taking later in the day, right? Kind of seeing how certain levels reacted to London volatility, see if any sort of like order blocks were formed, if any liquidity was taken. So you can be aware of this stuff as you kind of head into the main volatile session. 8:30 a.m. is a big kind of news event time. There's a lot of soft data for the US that comes out at 8:30. Things like, off the top of my head, I mean, like what CPI, I think NFP is 8:30. There's a lot of data releases that happen around 8:30 a.m. So good kind of trigger time. Keep in mind the 15 minutes like before and after each time frame is super important. I would say anywhere from 8:15 all the way through 10 a.m. is great execution time. You could see we have 8:30, 9:30, 10 a.m. The reason I have it listed like that is because at those times, I'm looking at different things. 8:30 a.m., I'm typically looking at like forex pairs. I'm looking at like commodities and futures like gold, oil, um, maybe even some like Nasdaq stuff. But at 9:30, 10 a.m., that's very specifically, indices, looking at US 30, Nasdaq. By then, I'm already done currency trading. So those times are there not because it's great for everything, but it's very specific to some of the things that I trade. You may notice that you're trading something different that's active at a more important time of the day. That's fine. But these are some of the just general specific, execution times across the board. 1:30 p.m. That's like kind of your post lunch heading into end of day. If you are taking like kind of like late session trades, me personally, I'm done at 11 a.m. So I kind of skip out at 1:30. But for trade management, closing out before end of day, checking for like afternoon spikes, that's kind of your most active time. 8:30 p.m. being the kind of Asian session most active time that usually runs for about an hour until about 9:30. And then also midnight, and all, by the way, if you didn't notice, all of this is in Eastern Standard Time. And then midnight's also a very great time. It's a little bit before that London session, so some liquidity is usually taken around that time. Usually it sets you up for areas that may be retested during London. So another great execution time. I take a lot of good trades around that midnight time frame as well. Again, though, what I want you to do is be adaptable to this. What I want you to see is like I have my clear cut execution times. Right? I'm not really looking at the market any side of time out of this. There are some people that just look at the markets all the time, all the time, all the time. They get some free time, they look at it. Right? If I'm not looking at the market at 3:45 in the afternoon just because I got off work and that's like the first time I could look at it all day, right? I might peep it, I might just kind of see where prices are, but I'm not really looking to do anything that's not an execution time of mine. So, again, you guys can use these for your own reference. They are execution times that work. That's exactly when I trade. But again, be adaptable. I want to train you guys to find the best execution times for yourself because ultimately, what you need to do is you need to start building a schedule. And this may involve you making some real life sacrifices and changes. And I just want to tell you guys what I did personally, right, to kind of get to that next level. All right, so sometimes you have to make adjustments for your dreams. Like if it's possible, if you can make adjustments to get to the chart at the best execution times, you need to, you need to kind of just do that. Right? For me, I'm gonna just tell you how I did this, right? I used to work in retail. I used to work at Apple. And what I had them do is very cleverly, I kind of looked up the minimum requirements for me, as I was a part time employee. If you're full time, I understand this might be a lot harder, but maybe there's adjustments you can make kind of somewhere else. And I was a part time employee, so I only had to work a minimum of whatever it was, like 20 hours a week. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, if I want to really take trading serious, and at that point, I was already understanding, Wyckoff logic, supply and demand, smart money concepts, everything that's taught in the course. My problem was I couldn't execute because I was mostly going into work 10 a.m., which means I had to be there by, like 9:30. I had to at least be on the road getting ready, right? If you look at my execution times, 9:30, 10 a.m., 8:30, these are times when I was generally trying to juggle executing, but also getting ready for work. So that wasn't happening. So for me, I made a real life sacrifice. It's not really even a sacrifice. It was more like a change, right? So what I had them do is to get my 20 hours, I had them only allow me to work, Thursday through Sunday, right? And my schedule was basically this. I would work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 8 hours. Generally, like, since it was part time, it was generally like 6 hours. So it'd be like 6, 12, 18. And then on Thursday, I would also work like an additional 4 hours, but only after 2 p.m., right? Only after 2 p.m. So basically, what I did is I took my schedule at work and I tailored it as best as I could, which for me worked out really well. And I only went in on the weekend so I can focus Monday through Thursday. Thursday, only at least in the morning, but I got those active trading hours in from 5 to 11, and I basically built my work schedule around my trading schedule. Now, again, not everyone's going to be able to do this. I know people are going to have full time jobs, 9 to 5, right through the middle of the week, right? That's going to be something that you're going to have to see if you can change up, right? You might want to start looking at these midnight time frames, right? Start looking at this 5:30 a.m. Maybe you're going to only be a very early active trader. You're going to get up at 5:30, you're going to hit those charts, go to work throughout the day. Maybe you can do some management by 1:30, maybe by, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock during the Asian session, cooling off, right? But you're going to have to take your best execution times and you're going to have to build some sort of schedule in your real life, right? Because you're going to have to be able to actually show up when this opportunity knocks. I want to come back to this slide real quick because I did say or be adaptable to alerts when necessary, right? Some people may just do their analysis at 5:30 in the morning, set up a bunch of different alerts, which just let you know when price is moving into liquidity, doing stuff like that. And then you can take a quick, 5 minute, 7 minute. You shouldn't even really need that long once you get the skills down, but take a good 5 minutes, 7 minutes, take a look at your setup, decide if you want to execute on that, and then just let the trade do its thing, right? But you need to have clear cut rules, clear cut times that you're going to be active trading, or a system that will get you on the charts when your trades are playing out. So these are the times that I use. All right, these are the sacrifices and changes that I made when I was learning to get there, which ultimately helped me, leave that job that was holding me back. But I also understand at the same time, not everybody's gonna be able to change their schedule around. Um, so yeah, with that being said, guys, that is this lesson. If there's anything that you guys have questions, comments, concerns about, if you guys want to just chop it up, see if there's a way we can work together to kind of make a trading schedule that makes sense to you, throw it in the Discord, throw it in the comments, leave your thoughts with me, and I will see you guys in the next lesson.